on the ground as of now. So make sure you are in your safe places. And even on the latest scan, you can still see that there is a debris signature that is still present there. Gotta do a couple things on my OBS real quick. Alright. We got GR2 and then also Radar Omega going. So even on still on the latest scans, you can still see where you have your strong velocities on this side here. Oh wow. Okay, so Radar Omega did just update, and yeah, even still you can still see where you have those strong velocities at just now to the northwestish of Hoover Mill, the main area of Hooverville, not Hooverville Mill. This is potentially going over right between, yeah, this is still potentially going right between Hoover Mill and Bethlehem. I just got latest update. Still seems to be the case. We still have a debris signature. What is that arrow that I just made? Okay. So we still have a debris signature right in there, which is going to be, once again, northwest of Hoover Mill. And this is going to be right in Florida as well, by the way, for those who are just joining the stream. I know, well, I know I put it in the title, but so so do we have so what is in this area? Let me check. All right, so looks like this could be going towards, looks like some, like a church potentially in this area. I do want to look at the meso analysis real quick too, because I know there's quite a bit of wind shear in this area, but about instability, yeah, there's quite a bit of instability too. Let me check the bulk shear and then also the little lapse, not lapse, right? Little wind shear. Even wind shear is there as well. So we have an environment where we have both instability and then also that wind shear that I was just talking about as well. Let me check the see if it's updated. It has indeed updated. Although velocities right now are 4 minutes behind right now. So it still seems to be still on the ground going towards the northeast. If you're in Holland Crossroads and Noma Junction, you are going to want to make sure you are in your safe place, as this is heading right towards where you are at. And this is also probably the weirdest tornado warned areas I've ever seen with this shape. It's like an egg. The latest scan just came in for the CC. We're still 5 minutes behind right now on velocities. Velocities for some reason has been really slow on Radar Omega. Let me check. Yeah, it's behind on Radar Omega, but not so much on GR2. Because GR2 shows a little bit more updated. Although at least the CC has been more updated, at least, and the reflectivity too. But we potentially may have a tornado starting to occlude here. And this has also produced multiple tornadoes today too, to note. Oh, whoa. Okay, this did just go PDS. So now we do have a PDS tornado warning for places such as Ann's Crossroad, Estonoma, Wyloom, Cobb Crossroads, Graceville, in Florida, and then on not Georgia, Alabama side, we got Black Fedette, Southern Junction, Garrett Crossroads, Madrid, Hodgesville, Rio Beth, Slocombe, Hartford, and Dundee. So velocities are still behind right now. And this is going to eventually go over the, once again, this is going to be going eventually over the Florida-Alabama border as well. Make sure you, once again, make sure you are in your safe place. Especially since this did just go PDS warned as well. Alright, velocities did just update. You can still see where it had those strong velocities right there, just to the south of Crossroads, Ards Crossroads. And your debris signature is going to be there, although we're about a couple minutes behind right now with the scan, so we are got to wait a little bit for the next CC update. Alright, so looking at latest CC, looks like it kind of is starting to occlude a little bit, but there's still this is still potentially still on the ground even with that CC drop, because sometimes if it goes into a place where there's not a lot of trees and stuff, then it's not gonna be as big of a debris signature on CC. But this is gonna be going towards Holland Crossroads and Noma. I'm gonna switch over to GR2 real quick here, so you guys can get a better view of this. So here's our PDS tornado warning. It's still ongoing as of this moment, and there's your CC drop still there. Still got your strong velocities on kind of both sides. Definitely this backside here. And let me go back a little bit here so you can kind of see where that started recycling and then produced again. Actually, let me go back a little bit. So about there, that's when it produced another tornado, and then it produced basically a strong tornado. Don't know what the exact strength is until obviously the National Service gets out there and does their surveys. Does those line up? Because it could be another tornado. Yeah, I think we may still, as of now, still have a potential tornado still on the ground. It is a smaller debris signature, but we will have to wait and see till the next scan comes on in. Even looking at Radar Omega, yeah, it's definitely still a debris signature there. It's not as big as, well, what we saw from earlier about, where is it at? About there. But we definitely still do have a tornado still on the ground, so make sure you are still sheltering in place. Alright. Definitely still continue to stay your safe place. Still have a tornado that's potentially still on the ground here. Definitely some strong velocities still there too, between this area near Esto and Noma, Florida. Radar Omega is still behind on velocities. I'm surprised that's the one thing Radar Omega today has been behind on. Okay, so looking at the latest scans, I think this is starting to re-intensify in strength potentially, because that is a much larger debris signature than the past at least couple of scans at this point. It's gonna be going. What's it gonna be going towards Esto and Noma in Florida, and it's eventually gonna be crossing over the Alabama-Florida border. We also got a couple of showers or storms starting to pop up in front of us as well, which eventually will merge with this, which actually looks like we are starting to see some mergers already with this particular one here. What basically mergers will do is basically in this case, hopefully bring cooler air into this. And then kind of kill off that tornado potential with the supercell. But right now, that does not seem to be the case at the moment. That's gonna be going. That's gonna be right over Holland. This is gonna be right over Holland Crossroads. Alright, news debris signature scan just came on in, or CC drop, and looks like that is weakening again as it's going towards Esto and Noma. Still, absolutely just strong velocities on this side here, which is your rear flank downdraft right in there. But I think we are starting to see that merger starting to come into place. Because if we go back over to Radar Omega, which I would say has a little bit better of imaging, I would say, you could see right over Holland Crossroads still has that debris signature going towards Noma. Noma Junction is technically in that as well, and also Esto. And then that will eventually cross the border of right here. And then I'm guessing this is more of a rural area. And Alabama, I'll have to take a look. Let's see. Gotta find where it's at. Still PDS warrant as well. Alright, there. Yeah, it's a pretty rural area. I mean, there are some houses and buildings in this area too, still. Probably some farmhouses or whatnot. Let me see. And then we do have a 5% tornado outlook. Well, 5% tornado risk outlined right now. And the this part of the Panhandle of Florida into portions of Georgia and also Alabama. How much of that tornado risk we'll see today? We'll have to watch and see throughout today, see what happens. Because right now, this is the one supercell that's been producing a tornado for the past maybe few times at this point. And I say few times because it produced a couple tornadoes earlier. So it looks like we have a likely debris signature still on the ground with that tornado there going between Esto and Noma. Looking at velocities on GR2, because right now Radar Omega is really behind right now. And with those mergers, because typically mergers will kind of kill off any tornado potential, but it looks like that rotation is still going strong with this particular tornado going towards Esto and Noma still. Let me switch over. Did I switch over to GR2? No, I did not. Okay. So you can see debris signature, and then there's your velocities right in there. And this is what reflectivity looks like. So this is basically got to make its way over into Alabama, which right now at the moment is not super surprising, considering this is kind of a long track, almost kind of a long track tornado at this point. Oh, wow. Okay, so looking at because Radar Omega having the clear picture, it does look like we have a much larger debris signature on the ground with this tornado than the previous couple scans at this point. And it's going to be going towards Fedette and between it's going to be going near this low comb area, but this is going to be going towards Fedette in Alabama. So make sure if you are in the area, you are in your safe place. Also, just a quick question to chat. How is everyone doing this afternoon? Well, actually, is it the afternoon yet, or is it still morning? Well, actually, it'd be because this would be Easter time in Florida, I guess. So, how is everyone doing this afternoon in Florida? So I do want, because I know there's cameras in Dothan, Alabama. Let me see if they got traffic. I know they got, well, I imagine they have traffic cameras, but specifically where they are at, so I can get a better view on this, if possible. Because I don't know if this is potentially hidden behind rain. This is officially going over the border at this point, Florida and Alabama. I do want to take a look at the surface. I do want to take a look at the surface observations too. So I do wonder if this is like riding a warm front too. Which it definitely, looking at the surface front map on Radar Mega, definitely seems to be the case. And then you also get your vorticity, which is spin the air in this area from the low pressure. Looking at Radar Omega, because I think it's the most updated right now. So, still got a debris signature just now north of Noma, Florida. This is now going to be going into Alabama at this point, into a more rural area. Still going to be going towards the Fedette area. And, not, did I say Georgia? This is Alabama. I said, because if that is where that area of low pressure is, this basically be like almost kind of like a tropical situation. Because typically with tropical systems like hurricanes or even just tropical storms in general, your northeast quadrant of that low pressure would be where you find your tornadoes at, which for this seems to be the case. Let me actually look at satellite, because sometimes satellite gives a better view where that area of low pressure is, which, yeah, that seems to be the exact place where that's at, right over here where that area of low pressure is at. So this is basically almost acting like a tropical system in a way. And we're 4 minutes behind on velocities, but we are a couple minutes behind on reflectivity. We're not super behind on reflectivity and CC at least, but it'd be nice if the velocities would update properly for once. Because the last update on here on Radar Mega was like 11:28 a.m. Once again, more problems when it comes to Radar Omega just not updating properly. Probably once, because one thing I do wish when it comes to weather-wise, which may be my next radar app I will switch to, hopefully they'll add the way to like tab through scans. Cause that's something I've always wanted to kind of do on there, but I couldn't. Let's take a quick look at the CC, which I don't think CC is quite updated on here yet. So let me check on Gear 2. And looking at Gear 2, it looks like we have a weakening of the tornado again here. I mean, it's still got some stronger velocities on this, but the velocities have weakened by much more than what we've seen beforehand with previous cycles of this. But yeah, definitely some weakening of the velocities on this going towards the northeast. So, but we still, as of now, still have a tornado on the ground. Latest scan. It's a smaller, once again, it's smaller debris signature, but it is there. Still PDS warned. I got 18 minutes left on this tornado warning. And then also another thing to note as well for next week with the severe risk for, well, the next week, the Storm Prediction Center did put out a Day 6 outlook, which basically covers the entirety of Illinois, big portion of Indiana, southwestern portion of Michigan, and then basically a good portion of Wisconsin and eastern Iowa and eastern Missouri. Which actually, let me switch over to that real quick on Radar Omega. So here is that Day 6 outlook right here. So you can see where we have basically the entirety of Illinois covered in that. So basically right now that is a slight risk, because typically your 15% are your slight risk. And then latest scans again, it has weakened again. Not 100% sure if this is on the ground or not still. I mean, we may have still have one on the ground. It's just much, much weaker. Let me look at velocities. Which, not as tight either with velocities. Because when you have tight velocities with your green and reds, that's typically where you gotta find your tornado at. So it looks like potentially the mergers. Because you got another one to the east right here coming up to this one here. So it looks like those mergers are starting to kind of affect this particular supercell. This looks like it could be tracking towards Dothan as well in Alabama. This could be, once again, still going towards Fedette and Alabama. So I do want to check some of these storms off to the coast here, because you can see more storms and showers out towards here off the coast. So I do wonder if we'll have to watch to see if those trying to mature eventually and get more organized, and then eventually potentially see if they do the same thing as this one. But right now, this does not seem to be the case. Still got potentially still a tiny debris signature still on the ground, although velocities and CC really not lining up too much, to be honest. Just trying to check if we, because I don't know if there's gonna be any reports or not from any of these towns and whatnot. This hopefully, especially with the areas of Esto and Noma, because I know those are kind of smaller areas. Hopefully, those in those areas are okay. And let me check the other areas. Trying to check here. I know there's gotta be areas over in Florida where we had the tornado where there's gotta be smaller houses and whatnot. Even though it's probably a more rural area here, but definitely still potentially that we could have things such as damaged buildings, injuries. Hopefully, everyone in those areas are okay. If this did hit any houses and whatnot. All right, so looks like they did just take this down to a radar indicated tornado warning now. So this is no longer PDS or confirmed. And not as big of a tornado warned area as well. Tornado warning still continuing for Slocum, Malvern, Rio Beth, and Taylor. That's clear right there. But not as organized of velocities as they were earlier. It's kind of broad. I mean, still strong, kind of strong velocities on this at this point, but all right, so we do not indeed. I know they did just take it down to radar indicated, but we do indeed no longer have a tornado that is on the ground in Alabama at this point. Still continue to stay in safe places if you're in Malvern, Taylor, and Rio Beth in Alabama for the next 10 minutes or so. Always wait till tornado warning has been expired out or canceled out. Let me check the storm relative. Where is that at? Okay, there. Oh my god, I forgot how much I hate this color palette with the storm relative on GR2. That's clear still. Yeah, and that's also side lobe contamination in there too. Because your actual area where we had that tornado would be over here. And you're also rotation too. I doubt there's a low precipitation area of low precipitation that's trying to rotate over here. Still monitoring this particular area here still. Looks like that we have this merger incoming right now, which I think that did just, at least with the northern portion, that just merged. Still waiting to see what's going to happen down here. I just turned on Echo Tops. And it looks like we have a pretty tall supercell as well. 40 plus thousand feet here. I am kind of curious what is that gotta look like on here. So you can see this, at least this section that we're looking at right here. I don't know if that's showing. Oh yeah, it is. Let me expand that image a little bit so it's a little bit easier to view. But yeah, there's your this is like your volume explorer, kind of like a section where you can kind of take a look at your cloud tops, and you can also see where your updrafts are as well. I think it's ISO surface, I think. But you can see where your cloud tops are at with this, which 50,000 feet there. About. Let me actually get a bigger one here. Why not? Although you can kind of see where it's kind of circling like that, but that's just mainly just do how radar is and trying to do a kind of like a, wouldn't say cross section, because cross section would be, oh, that's not cross section. Cross section would be that right there. This would be cross section right here. Kind of weird to look at, but I will need to get some water in a second, which I can probably, I might just get up and get water in a second. Actually, no, I have my water right here. I am completely, I did not realize that. Okay. I am kind of eyeing the this little cell over here in Florida near Camp Belton there. Let me check the other areas here. So I do wonder if we have a little area of rotation on this little cell. Because I mean, it would be impossible to have a small cell have a air rotation on it. I've seen it. I've seen it happen before with there was a cell a couple weeks back at this point in Texas that had a air rotation on it and did produce a tornado on it. Hello, welcome to the stream. Our power storms. It rhymes. Very cool. I just saw a post. Apparently, there was a tornado in Pavlohrad, Ukraine, and that was yesterday. Apparently, if that actually was a tornado that was over there. Because sometimes people post tornado videos and it's like something that was like from like years ago. So I saw a couple posts too with the the Chicago area. Lake enhanced cold front moving southwest from Lake Michigan just moved into Will County around midday. Winds will be shifting from west northwest to northeast and gusting up to 25. It looks like there was a cold front that just moved through over in Chicago. Looks like, which I think that happened the other day too. And also another thing too with Lake Michigan, with it being pretty cold right now, so that enhances that cold front. All right, they just issued another large severe thunderstorm warning with this, which looks to be mainly a wind threat like the last one here. Yeah, it hasn't changed too much other than the speed that this is moving at. It's going to be going for an hour, 3 minutes, too. So that's moving at 30 miles per hour. So this is moving slower by 5 miles per hour at this point with this particular cell. I do wonder if I should switch over to this radar here, because this is a little bit closer. I mean, we're almost kind of in between two different radars, but... And that looks like they did just merge with that. So this is kind of keeping that tornado threat at bay at this point. Still watching this area for velocities, but honestly, it doesn't look too organized at this point. But we'll have to see in the next few minutes or so, see what it does. Let's check back up on the... What's it? This area over here? Where is it at? Oh yeah, there we go. Found it. I'm like, where did I go? Because I know I found some. I know it was somewhere over here, but it was right here. This little cell by Cottonwood, which looks like it's gonna be another merger with this as well. A lot of lightning with this too. You can see all these little lightning bolts, and they did just end up. I think they canceled out that tornado warning, or did it expire on its own? No, it expired on its own. All right, so we no longer have a tornado warning at this point in time, but we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for the areas in and around Dothan and Abbeville. I will be right back. I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Let me try to go back further here. So it looks like this is definitely trying to reorganize, even with that merger that just occurred. So squish with the color table for velocities out here. It's definitely see a sell. I wonder if Tampa's right. How far is this gonna be able to see these? Yeah, definitely a lot of lighting with that area there. I said this is the one cell here that I'm watching for right now. It's definitely gonna be the next thing that's gotta merge with this. Because if we keep seeing mergers with this particular supercell, then yeah, I don't think we're really gonna see much more of a tornado threat out of this. Because basically what a merger is well, what it basically does, it's like eating too much food, and then you just can't eat anymore or something like that. I don't know. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Such as viewers will experience buffering. What do you talk about, YouTube? I'm looking on its side. It looks perfectly fine. Which looks like, as of the latest scans, looks like that merger is starting to come together here. All right, and now YouTube said, after a whole minute apparently, stream is healthy. Stream health is excellent. Oh, really? Like a minute ago, where it was like, YouTube is not receiving enough video. Yeah, but definitely, yeah. With this next merger, I think if this is probably gonna put, so to speak, kind of the nail in the coffin for this trying to produce anything later down the line at this point. Definitely still once again it looks like almost like not quite Dippin' Dots, but definitely some showers and storms. It kind of reminds me. I forget what day it was. I think it was sometime last year where we had a bunch of water spouts going in. I think it might have been. I know it was over here in Alabama or something like that, and then also Hawaii too, actually. What is going on? I need All right, my nose is killing me. I don't know if my allergies or what are kicking in. Ow. Yeah, you can start saying it because this is where your yeah, that's where your brain cooled air is at. So basically, once all that kind of merged all together, yeah, that's definitely gotta kill off the tornado threat at this point. I mean, not that there couldn't be a tornado threat; it would just be extremely low at this point. But honestly, once these all merge together, I think that tornado threat there is pretty much done. And this is mainly a wind threat for 6 mile per hour winds and penny sized hail. I don't know why YouTube says the audio's current bitrate is 0. It's lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use an audio stream bitrate of 128 kilobytes per second. How do I set that again? Because usually I don't even know what I have it on usually. I don't even know if that's a thing I put on OBS or I have to put it on YouTube itself. Usually I don't screw around with that kind of thing too much. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, welcome back. But what is with Revo on a solar deciding it wants to pop up for no apparent reason? Do I have it? I don't even think I have that disabled in Task Manager. Can I even disable it? It doesn't even look like I can even disable that. But it looks like this became mainly wind threat at this point with this uh severe storm at this point. I am still looking at this down here. Cause I know that this should did this tongue tied over here. This did just merge. There we go. I don't know why I was having issues trying to say that. Let me check this radar here because I know this is closer to this compared to everything else. But even on this radar you can see the mergers. So a bunch of lightning with this, which is not surprising. I'd say if it was nighttime, it'd be probably quite the lightning show. Man, that's one thing I can't wait for later in the summer is lightning, actually just lightning shows, man. Because that's always what I like to watch. When it comes to storms that kind of just roll through. I have a couple of videos that well, I say a couple, but quite a few actually that are lightning videos. My most favorite one was last year in June. It was similar to one video I had from 2023 in May, which the one I did in May in 2023 is now actually that video is actually now 2 years old actually. Man, time flies. Yeah, how are you doing today? Also, I do want to take a look at the outlooks as well. Where is? Oh, there. Okay. So there's your 5% tornado risk area, and you have your 2% around this area as well. There actually was a lightning report over here. Lightning struck home and started a fire. That was at 8:45 a.m. Central. That would be 9:45 a.m. Eastern. And then there's the wind threat for today. And then there's the hail, which honestly, I don't know how much of a hail threat we'll see today, but I feel like we're probably going to see at least a wind threat of some sort. And here's for tomorrow, which is a marginal risk. And then there's your same area basically with that 2%. And then there's 5% for wind and hail. So even tomorrow, it's kind of like, I mean, I'm not expecting like a full-on severe weather outbreak or anything, but just not as big of a severe weather threat compared to what we'll potentially see next week on Thursday. Because here's that day 6. Although I have been hearing that there may be potentially capping issues that day with severe weather, or at least a mix of modes when it comes to storm mode. I would not be surprised if it goes all linear again. Because March 19th, it all went from discrete and then squall line, and then QLCS tornadoes happened. Because typically with, not that you couldn't have embedded supercells that produce like your typical discrete supercell tornadoes, but typically with squall lines, you gotta see more of a QLCS tornado threat, which are your brief tornadoes that spin up. See how far behind? Actually, no. Surprisingly, Radar Omega is not as behind as it was earlier for velocities. I do want to check out here too. I can't imagine there's too much of anything when it comes to a tornado threat or anything out here. Let me check the meso analysis. So if we go over to where did I put my meso analysis at? That's mesoscale discussions. Ah, there. Right, weather I do wonder on weather-wise, is there any cameras with has cams on here? I don't think there is. Yeah, there's none in here, down here. So here's, hold on, let me show you guys this. So because as you can see, got one over here, one there. Actually, got more starting to pop up over in Texas when it comes to cyclone ports. But otherwise, not a whole lot of cyclone ports over here. I know there was one over here that used to be online over in California. I don't remember where it was though. Might have been Mount Shasta. This radar's down. That was the last time this was online was yesterday at 2:14 p.m. Central. Let me check back up on this real quick. Which right now, if there's anything that was trying to rotate, it's could have been in there, but right now does not seem to be super organized. I wonder. I feel like I just had a whole voice crack there. See if we got anything on, because the IM bot monitor kind of shows different things from like terminal aerodome forecast, area forecast discussions. Davenport just issued one. I want to take a quick look at this. Cool. So, Quad Cities, Lake Enhanced Cold Front to bring a chilly night tonight with a low chance, patchy frost. Let's see. So I don't know if they mentioned. Let's see. They're forecasting for looks like next Thursday with some high temperatures potentially. And that also would be accompanied by moisture and humidity from the Gulf. So basically, a summer feel in what is we're still. I mean, we're still in spring, so. As a shortwave ejects from a trough into upper Midwest while taking on a negative tilt, this is still quite a few days, 6 to be exact, away, and still in serve with the EML/cap strength. Because yeah, there you go. There's the capping issue that I was talking about earlier that they were concerned about with when it comes to that severe weather for next week. But enough of the signal and various guidance to where SBC has introduced a 15% risk. A slight risk for severe weather on Thursday. Stay tuned days ahead as we learn more details. So, yeah, basically for right now, obviously days out, you're still gonna have uncertainties, especially when it comes to severe weather. But right now, it looks like capping potentially will definitely be a issue, and it looks like we could have some. It could be quite humid and hot next Thursday over in Illinois and Iowa and whatnot over here. So time to start drinking a lot water that day, I guess. Especially if you're gonna be outside, and also probably some sunscreen too. On Thursday. So what day is it? Saturday. I just saw a post from Ethan Moriarty or June 1st. Wanted to have a chasing video completed alright, but my voice is still shot from have the vid, hoping to have it out by mid next week. And I think there was another person I followed that also had their voice they're also like losing their voice too. Man, everybody losing their voice, like, or what, man? And looks like there was a dust devil over in Manchester in the UK. It looks like. I am kind of curious what the. Oh wait, do I already have it up? Yeah, I do. I'm kind of curious what they say about day 6 on the Storm Prediction Center site itself. So, here's for day 6 with that 15%. I feel like I'm talking a lot about that 15% on Thursday, but it is indeed the next severe chance that is a slight risk at least, and a potential for significant weather for next week. Medium range guide indicates that generally amplified split mid upper flow will persist across mid latitude Pacific through North America next week. It appears that this will include at least a couple of significant troughs digging inland of the U.S. Pacific coast. First may already be in the process of developing eastward across the Intermountain West early in this period, with Tuesday before progressing across the Rockies. Great Plains and Mississippi Valley through through latter portion of next week. This may be followed by another significant trough digging inland of the Pacific coast by early next weekend. The lead trough will be relatively close on the heels of the remnants of initially broad, quasi-stationary cutoff low, which may only slowly progress east of the Mississippi Valley through Atlantic seaboard during early to middle portion of next week. Low moisture return in the wake of this perturbation. That's a word I'm gonna struggle to even pronounce. And ahead of the mid-level trough emerging for the west may continue to be impacted across at least parts of the Great Plains in the midweek. Thereafter, there appears to be a general consensus there will be a better coupling of large-scale forcing for ascent, aided by surface cyclogenesis, with a notable increase in low moisture, destabilization across the lower Missouri Valley into the upper Midwest and lower Ohio Valley by late next Thursday into Thursday night. Presence of strong shear appears that this environment could become supportive supercells in or one or two organizing severe storm clusters. Machine learning output other guides suggest that potential for strong to severe storms could persist and potentially more widespread across the Ohio Valley to Mid-Atlantic and southern Great Plains next Friday and Saturday. However, uncertainties remain too large at this time to introduce greater than 15%. I imagine, I'm going to say probably by, I want to say Tuesday at least, because Tuesday is when that risk goes day 4. So I guess probably by Tuesday, we'll probably get a little bit better of an idea of what we're looking at least 3 days out from... Wait, 3 days out would be Tuesday, Wednesday. So Monday, actually, which is in 2 days. That'd be day 4. I don't know, wait. So, today, Sunday, Monday, day 3... 4 be Tuesday. Day 5 would be Wednesday. Day 6 is Thursday. So yeah, basically Monday we'll probably know a little bit more when it comes to that severe threat for next week. I still do wonder if capping will be still an issue for next week still. I was gonna say too, with to note, you can see this kind of spinning around too. Cause I do wonder if it's trying to like reorganize, because it looks like it's trying to reorganize with the latest scans. Kind of see where get your reds going like that, greens going like that. So this is gonna be something to watch for within the next half hour. Oh, I got hiccups. It's also quite, I mean, it's just not super narrow, but it is quite a little bit of a narrow tornado watch area, too. So this is going to be, what time does this go to? 5 p.m. at, 5 p.m. Central. I said, how many people? I can't imagine there's any storm chasers that are alive right now. Because typically, you're not really going to see storm chasers out and about when you have not super high of a severe weather threat. No, I'm gonna go try and look. Hold on. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot of people alive. Yeah, even okay, yeah, you can really see from previous scans where it was hooking right in there over Cowards, and then it's kind of merging again. So it was trying to reorganize, but then it's probably becoming unorganized again here. Where is? Well, I saw a post from James Spann, and it basically was the basically because I've seen a lot of posts about that earthquake over in Tennessee. Where was that specifically? Hold on, let me check. That was few miles south of Knoxville. It looks like. Also, another thing to note with my graphics as well, I worked on those. Oh, I say worked on, but I kind of decreased the size of some of the graphics so it kind of fits a little bit better on the screen. Which I think, even looking at my dashboard here, my Creator Studio dashboard for the live stream here, yeah, it definitely looks a little bit better than from previous streams that I've done. Because previous streams, I feel like, I've done a graphic so I can have a little bit more space on the screen, but even then it still felt too large. So then I decreased it again. I think I found a at least some type of happy medium at least when it comes to my graphics here. Looks like Michael Farrag Farragamo. I definitely botched his last name. Looks like he made a typhoon landfall map for places such as South Korea, China, Taiwan. Did I mention Japan? I don't think I did. But let me. I don't know if I don't know if I'm actually will show this on stream, but I'll retweet that over on my Twitter. Let me actually. Where is my link tree at? Where? Really? It's gotta make me log in. Okay. Actually, wait. I can just literally just go to my bio on my Twitter and then post it in there. All right, there we go. So that's the link tree. So you guys can see all my links and whatnot on that. I just realized I do need to link my stream in on my site, Google site that I have. I don't have an official official looking site yet because everything requires money and don't have a site unless I can like figure out how I can make a website of my own without having some kind of host or like GoDaddy or something like that. Which if that I mean I don't know if that is possible, but I feel like it probably is. Let me drink some water. My throat is absolutely just dry right now. On the wrong tube. Ow. Whew. Yeah, that water went down the wrong tube. Well, 1 second. All right, I think I'm good. Okay. Oh, and also I just realized too, I forgot that Trey from Convective Chronicles is well, I don't know if he is he is and did do a video with Chris Broyles, which is pretty cool. Also to note with all this there's so many mergers going on with this, which honestly I feel like with all these mergers, if there is any supercells trying to organize, it's just got to struggle big time. Although here, this area here, I'm watching for right there, over west of Columbia in Alabama. This is eventually got to make its way northeast towards Blakely in Georgia. And this just slowly looks like it's turning into almost like a Lionosaurus. Maybe a few. This one being a embedded supercell potentially. But yeah, definitely watching this area here. It looks like they did just issue the National Water Center issued a hydrologic discussion for portion of southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle through early tomorrow morning, and that is basically on the basis of flash flooding and urban flooding. I say even through, I always find loops, radar loops, to just be so satisfying to look at. But you could see from earlier too, where it was trying to wrap up right there, and then it kind of did almost like an off, like a handoff there. And this rear flank is definitely trying to get act together there, but I feel like there's it's a little bit still a bit more outflowed compared to inflow right now. And a bunch of those mergers are probably affecting it too. Although there's a little bit more clear air in front of us right here, but actually let me check. This right here definitely could affect that for sure. New severe thunderstorm just got issued. Where's that gonna be at? Yeah, that's typically an update for us. Well, sometimes it up. Oh, that's gonna be way down here actually. Half dollar side hail with this. Sell down here. Well, I did not want to zoom in that fast. Holy. Trying to click. It's taking a bit to load here. No, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see. I know I looked at it earlier, but I don't. Who else is actually live right now? Evan Freiberger's live, and then there's another person that's live actually called Mega Train Weather. Apparently that they are live. Apparently 777 three sevens for their subscriber count. Looks like. Take another drink of water here. I could, like I was gonna say, because I could literally feel my throat getting dry. It's like I mean, it's kind of like when you like wake up in the morning and then you're like, why is my throat dry? It's like, oh no, oh no. So they got 10 minutes at severe thunderstorm warning. Don't know if they're got issue a new one. I imagine they might for mainly wind. Yeah, this has definitely become more outflow at this point. Unless something here tries to organize between Columbia, like north of, well, between Pleasant Plains and Williams over here in Alabama. That's the only area right now that, if anything, could potentially try and organize there. But right now, it definitely seems to be more outflow at the moment. It's just continuously failing to kind of wrap up. Still looking at here, this is definitely, yeah, you could. The city's been just trying and trying to just wrap up still. I mean, it's broad, but I mean, it's, what is, I swear, my arrow drawing skills these past couple, I don't know if it's because I haven't streamed in like a couple weeks or what, my arrow drawing skills are absolutely terrible. There we go. Let me see. Where is? Looking at latest scans. Hold on, let me click off this. There's definitely area north of Williams here that's trying to tighten up again, right in there. Would not be surprised if this eventually does end up getting at least some type of tornado warning on us. If it does end up wrapping up a little bit more to where it's at right now, because this would be going northeast into Georgia. Let me check CC. Okay, nothing on CC. Definitely still an area here though. Just stay weatherwares just in case this does end up getting tornado warned if you're in this area, such as anywhere in Haleburg and probably Barnes, Hayes, Quahart. Any of those areas probably be included within a tornado warning if they do end up issuing one at any point. This thing has been kind of struggling to kind of wrap up, but I think this is at what we're looking at right now. I think is the most wrapped up we've at least seen it within the last half hour at least. All right, we're not super far behind on any of these, which is surprising considering Radar Omega has been having issues. 3 South Riverview, Hillsborough County, Florida. National Service employee reports hail of penny size, Rodine Road and Stone Pine Street. This is where this area right here is where we'd be watching for a tornado, right in there. Because we have more mergers starting to pop up in front of us too. So there's a chance with this next merger here, which is going on right now, this could easily just die down. Alright, there's a new severe tornado is issued. Pretty large one again, too. So this is now warned for up to quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and also has a tornado pause tag on it, which is mainly for this area right here, just to the south of Haleburg in Alabama. This is still going to be going northeast. Still have a little bit of area still, even on the current scan. So it looks like that rotation is indeed hanging on for now. Don't know if we'll see it in the next few scans at least, but we'll watch and see what happens. I do wonder, let me check back down here. Got anything, which right now does not seem to be the case. We have anything down here. So mainly showers and storms down that way. So I do want to, let me turn on station plots actually, or METARs. So I can imagine it's got to start getting a bit windy out here. 14, 22-mile-per-hour wind. Okay, they did just issue a tornado warning on that. Radar indicated So we are back up to a tornado warning. This is going to be for parts of Alabama, but also into Georgia. So if you're in Haleburg, this could be for Barnes, Haleburg, and Hayes in Alabama. And then this is going to be for Freeman, Blakely, and Urquhart in Georgia. So if you're in those areas, make sure you are going to your large power building home, most tier power building home, as you're now underneath a tornado warning. So there is a chance that this could produce a tornado. I mean, because you have your tight rotation right in there, just south of Haleburg. Nothing on CC at the moment, but this is going to be something you are going to want to go to your basement. Well, I don't know how many basements are in this particular area, but you are going to want to at least get into your safe place. So it is kind of interesting that this is trying to produce a tornado as well, considering all the mergers that occurred with this. So not still, as of 2 minutes ago, nothing on CC still. Our main focus is going to be probably right in this corridor here. Actually, let me check. Yeah, it's going to be right in this corridor right here, where this is tracking towards. I just looked at alerts. Apparently, there's a winter weather advisory over eastern Beaufort Sea Coast. Where is that at? I turn on this. A winter weather advisory, not a warning. Where's that at? Let me see. That's all the way up in Alaska. No wonder why. Alright, looking at latest scans. Definitely a little bit weaker of area of velocities just west of Freeman, Georgia. Doesn't seem, yeah, definitely does not seem to be as strong as it was. Although it does look like we have a little bit stronger pocket of velocities here still. Definitely, I mean, even on the blast scans with the rear flank, with having strong velocities too. But current scans, this looks like this is the only area that has the strong velocities, not so much on this side. Looking at another scan just came on in, and looks like that is not as strong. Definitely not as strong as it was earlier. Maybe something's still a little bit stronger there, but I think this at this point it's definitely weakened out by quite a lot at this point. They're probably gonna still at least continue this tornado warning because I mean they did issue for a half hour, but I mean not that they couldn't cancel out the tornado warning. But definitely a really quick attempt at this thing trying to produce again. Because with those velocities, it looks like it could at least produce a brief tornado. But with what we're looking at on CC, which, I mean, sometimes CC doesn't pick up on everything. Because you can have like a tornado on the ground, it'll be like a really, really weak tornado. But looking at velocities, it looks like potentially this did not produce and is now weakening. It's still gonna be going northeast over the Georgia Alabama border, going north of Freeman, Georgia. All right. So, quick update. So, just going back a little bit here. I do something real quick. So we do still, because this is definitely a little bit of an area there still that's going near Freeman that's still rotating. And even on even on Layascan, yeah, still a little bit in area there. It's not a super strong area, but it's definitely a tinier area that's rotating right now over Freeman. Definitely watching an area here south of Ashford for anything there. Because you kind of see where you can have a little bit of hook on it. Don't know if that will turn into anything of much, but once again, that's why we'll be monitoring that area as well. And this looks to be disorganized again with the velocities. Because this has been kind of going back and forth between organizing and deorganizing with that area of velocities. Still gonna be watching this area here, which kind of repeat myself there, but still. Mesoscale discussion by the Storm Prediction Center just got released. All right, there's the mesoscale discussion I was talking about. All right, so here. All right, looking at current, still got some strong velocities on both these sides here. Still, I mean, at this point, it's unorganized again. I would not be surprised if later down the line it tries to reorganize again, because that's what it basically did just do. Ah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely trying to re-wrap up here again. West of that's not west. That's east. I'm screwing up my directions here, but this got to be that's gonna be east of Haleburg. Still got another 15 minutes on this tornado warning. We'll see if they end up extending this or not. I mean, it's kind of broad area of circulation at this point, so they might not. They are probably gonna at least quite a few. Well, within I want to say the next half hour. I know this tornado warning is still going for another 15 minutes, but probably within the half hour, if anything does end up trying to retain, they'll probably issue a new tornado warning. Definitely some stronger velocities on this backside here. All right, I just saw a video from the tornado damage in Esto, Holmes County, Florida today. So there indeed was some damage over. I mean, we did see a tornado there earlier that was on the ground. It was quite a sizable debris signature. Looks like from the video itself, mainly doesn't look like super heavy amount of damage. Definitely looks like at least some. It looks like tree damage. I don't know about that house across the street though. Yeah, there is a house across the street in that video. This, yeah, they are probably gonna end up issuing a new tornado warning at some point down the downstream, or should I say upstream, because it's going northeast. Hello. Alright, still gonna be going till 5 p.m. Central. Oh, apparently the one little portion here of the Panhandle is indeed Central Time. I literally had to pull up a time zone map. I swear, I always get tripped up on the time zones because Eastern Time and Central Time have such a weird split between states like Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Like, let me like get this up real quick. So yeah, weird. It's just a weird dynamic between time zones. All right, still got another 9 minutes on this tornado warning. Still watching this area here with those strong velocities just to the northwest of Blakely. Gotta check down here while I'm at it. Which I don't think there's much down here at this point. There's a couple of showers over here. I think just some over here too. Actually, maybe some showers and storms here in north central and northern Alabama, and some showers over here in Mississippi, even over in Arkansas too. Now, I'm kind of curious. What does the MRMS look like right now? Yeah, I mean, it's not like a high resolution imagery of everything, but kind of gives you an idea. I do wonder if this eventually is gonna be turning into more of a cool LCS tornado threat potentially. Unless this is the case where we have a embedded supercell up in here, which is, I mean, there's a chance we do have that kind of situation ongoing right now. But if that is the case, then we may be in for a long, long day. Because right now it's 1:24 Central, 124 Central time in the afternoon right now. So it's just barely after noon right now. Knee is actually itching right now. And just a quick, well, I know we were looking at it earlier, but looks like that area rotation is broadening it out again. It's been like broadening, like been on and off all afternoon at this point. Bro, what is this? What did I just see for temperatures? Hold on. I know it's pivotal weather. I don't know what model that is though. GFS is absolutely showing temperatures that are just in this hot down there, like in 90s and 100s down that way on GFS. I do wonder what the Euro shows. Still got 3 minutes on this tornado warning. We'll have to see what they do end up doing, which right now seems to be not super organized as it was a little bit ago. I mean, it was still broad but strong rotation. I think we still have that similar situation still now, but I do wonder if it's starting to go more outflowy compared to inflow. Although, it does look like we have a little bit inflow right there. Actually, this may be trying to tighten it, like trying to do something right in there with that inflow. Alright, still got another minute. That's probably gonna be led to expire out. Still watching this area still. Bro, what is moving around my room? I think that did that did just expire out. Okay. So it looks like that is now expired out. Okay, we no longer have a ongoing tornado warning at this time. So right now we just have mainly a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-size hail and also 6-mile-per-hour winds. Yeah, this is definitely. I mean, I would say this is not trying to do anything, but I think just definitely at least trying to do something here over in Georgia at this point. New mesoscale discussion just got issued from the Storm Prediction Center. And it's gonna be. Let me see here. Alright, they did just issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for course sail and 6-mile-per-hour winds with tornado pause tag on it. It is quite another. It's another pretty large area for a severe thunderstorm warning as well. Uh, uh. I do wonder how big this is. I didn't want to do that. Let me turn this off real quick. Hold on. So from here to about here, I guess, about 75 miles. That's about 60 there. Man, I wish there was some type of measuring tool on this, like like a ruler or something. I don't know. Cause I want to measure how big this alert area is, but there's not really a way that I can viably do it. Definitely got an area here that has some pretty tall cloud tops there. I do wonder what 3D looks like. I don't use 3D too much sometimes. But yeah, look at that. And then we'll. Why is full screen mode on? Why is it blocking my chair from going forward? Is my phone charger? I think it might be my phone charger. I do wonder if it's trying to do something again over near Farrell Crossroads, right in there. Once again, the world's worst arrow that I could possibly draw. You know what? There, that works, I guess. But yeah, right near Farrell Crossroads, I think we're starting to see a little bit of another small area that's trying to circulate there. Kind of similar to what we saw earlier that did a similar kind of thing. Would not be surprised if it does end up getting another tornado warning on it. Because it's been kind of going on and off with areas that are rotating. I was gonna say, I wonder if they are gonna end up issuing a tornado warning or not on this, because this side's strong, but not so much on that side. On latest scan, it seemed it was kind of strong, but only looks like this side right now is the strong side of that velocity. So what if they're holding off on that tornado warning because of that? Does my shift button want to work? Okay, there we go. I'm like, I think it was because I was hitting my control button, not my shift button. I think that might have been the reason why. And there we go. Okay, so it looks like the velocities have died down again, it looks like. You can see where the velocities kind of ramped up just west of Farrell Roads. And if there is something that's just barely rotated, it's going to be right over Farrell Roads. But honestly, there does not seem to be as much there at this point when it's something trying to rotate. Definitely going to be watching this area, however, still for probably 20 minutes or so at least. See what happens. I'm gonna need a drink of water again here. Ah. I do want to check the storms down here as well while I'm at it. Because it looks like something is been trying to do something down here too. Near just just south of Crystal Lake over here in Florida. May have to watch this cluster just in case anything does occur there. Where is... So even from Tallahassee's radar, it's even picking up some kind of rotation there. That's like rotational loft, basically. Depending on what this does, this may actually be done after however long it was at this point, because this did produce that PDS tornado from earlier, and then it had a bunch of mergers with it. It's kind of almost somewhat of a line of storms at this point, but not quite at the same time. And also watching this cluster of storms here in Florida to see what those do. And there's also some other storms over here too in this portion of Florida. Which these I'm really not expecting too much to be a tornado threat, other than maybe some wind and hail coming out of these, but that's about it. So far, only one report I've seen so far when it comes to anything when the tornado from today. Which one video I saw was over on Twitter with the area that was hit over here Esto and Noma, that area there that got hit by the tornado. Looks like 17 years ago today was the Pitcher, Oklahoma tornado. Which is that tornado that hit, well, Pitcher, Oklahoma, and basically kind of killed off anything with the town. I'm looking at one photo. There's a lot. Just I forget what it's called. I think it's called Chet or something like that. From all the mines there, or at least were there, I should say. Well, I just need to push back my chair real quick. All right. I am smelling some good old food right now. So how is everybody who is everybody, I guess if you want to, but everybody who's viewing, how are you doing today? Or well, yeah, now afternoon at this point, but how is everyone at least doing today? Seeing a little bit of something on this right there near Crystal Lake, but nothing, not enough of anything right now to kind of constitute it being an area of rotation right now. Definitely an area to keep an eye on for now. What did I just see? Two-headed snake in California? I saw a photo of that. What the? That is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay. Gotta check a couple things here. So I do wonder if it's trying to reorganize again. But it's just absolutely it's just kind of struggling to kind of do so. Because it's been kind of back and forth the entire time almost, I will say. And we are kind of behind on velocities right now. On Florida's radar, not Florida's radar, Tallahassee's radar, and then also this radar here, which I think is also Tallahassee's. Which, even from this radar, you can kind of see where we have an area of rotation, actually. right in there near Crystal Lake. Now it's kind of far from this radar, but kind of gives us an idea of where it is indeed rotating. Velocities are actually 2 minutes behind now. Okay. I'm like, I still got a bit of an area still, I think, that is potentially rotating in there. Although, you have a bit of a contamination within this area, so... Well, side lobe contamination, to be specific. Also, it probably doesn't help that we're closer to the radar site. Although, it doesn't look too bad when considering it's right next to the radar site. Considering with other things I've seen with it. With sort of being right near the radar site, you just can't see none. Yeah, this area, I mean, definitely some straight line winds with that area. I don't know if we'll see much of a tornado threat at this point there, other than maybe some brief tornadoes in that area, but... Kind of, I just realized, I just looked at the time, and we are kind of behind on velocities on both of these right now. 3 minutes on this one, 2 minutes on this one. I go through previous reflectivity scans here. Even through the last scans, it kind of shows a little bit of a hook on it. Don't know if it'll produce anything or not down the line. Which is, I mean, that's something we'll be watching for, but... Right now, this does not seem to be a case that this is maturing to the point where it'll produce a tornado at the moment. Let me actually go over to GR2 real quick. See what kind of lightning I have on this. Not a lot of lightning within this area. Sometimes with supercells, before a tornado produces, there'll be a boatload of lightning. That's radar's behind on GR2, I think. Unless there are... Let me check. No, that's it just hasn't been updated either way on both GR2 and also here on Radar Omega at all. So at this point, it's kind of just a waiting game, to be honest. So we got 7 minutes on this severe thunderstorm warning, and then we have this one here, which is 37 minutes on it. We have actually a severe thunderstorm warning down here, just to the northwest of Moorhaven in Florida, for course I sail at 6 mile per hour winds. Still waiting for that radar to update. Go over to this radar for now. Although I don't know how much we'll see in terms of if this is rotating down here or not. Definitely gotta check up on this, which right now this seems to be more outflow at this point compared to it having an inflow, and then having another case where we have almost kind of like a tornado embedded within all this activity here. Okay, let's check back up on this radar, see if it updated, which it's updated on reflectivity, and it looks like we do not have as that hook from earlier that we saw in the last scan at this point. Yeah, this basically at this point, yeah, it's kind of died out at that point. So I think it'd be good for this afternoon at least. Yeah, it's gonna be good for this stream for now. Gotta be monitoring for the rest of the afternoon if we have anything that does end up happening. Which right now, there's actually a tornado. Wait, hold on. Where'd that be at? Because unless it's on this one, I'll have to check a quick look. Because I know there was a tornado earlier today, but I haven't heard or see anything on tornadoes as of like the past 20-ish minutes at this point. Because if there was a tornado, it must have been really weak and brief. Also, there's one ongoing right now, which I'm kind of looking in where I would be expecting where those tornadoes be at, like over here, and then that one area over here that I saw, which this did have a hook on it, a little bit, at least a little bit of hook on it, but I didn't see anything on the CC or anything. Let me take a quick look at GR2, because GR2 is a lot better at staying on a frame. I can switch between frames with reflectivity and whatnot. I just doing a double check here of everything. Now looking at these velocities here, they don't look super tight for there to be a tornado. Because that's initially where... Because that's initially right over here. Where you saw a couple of velocities there. But then looked like the velocities kind of died out. Because if there was a tornado, or is a tornado, probably be in there then. Which, those velocities don't, they don't really scream, tornado, to be honest. There's also this right here, too, that I noticed earlier. The other one on top, not the other, not that one. So I'm trying to look through previous frames. So I feel like I'm... So I feel like I'm not noticing it at all, and it's like right in front of my face. San Antonio. San Antonio, Texas. I'm guessing you're talking about. I mean, there's not really a severe threat over here in Texas at all. It's just showers and storms. Like even on the outlook, it's no severe weather expected for San Antonio today. Probably won't be expecting any severe weather for San Antonio for quite a while. Looks like the report time 10:30 a.m. Tree reported on I-10 East blocking traffic near mile marker 93 or near Ponce de Leon. Yeah, if anywhere that is hold on, let me get this up real quick. So I just pull up the outlook. Anywhere that is west of anywhere west of this, no severe threat is expected. Everywhere over here, severe weather is to be expected. Yeah, just a quick look at the. I don't actually just. Oh wait, clean cameras down. Actually, I just realized. I was gonna say because I was gonna pull up that camera there, but yeah, San Antonio. Once again, just not expecting anything there for severe weather. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in terms of a tornado that's even anywhere noticeable on here. So unless you give me like a specific like town name where it's at or anywhere near, 'cause I'm not seeing much in terms of a tornado that's on the ground over here in Georgia. So unless it was this one here with that, but you said uh his other one up top, not that one with I think we're to this one here. To be nice if this radar site was up. Oh, there's this one here. Definitely north of Edison. So I will say the let me look at the missile analysis real quick while I'm at it. If it wants to properly load. I mean the wind there is some wind shear with what I'm looking at with the 850 millibar layer. Uh instability I mean instability is obviously gonna be there. I do wonder how much wind shear is actually within this area. Because it looks like there's looking at 850 millibars 25. It's still right near the area of the low pressure area, so it's gonna be vorticity this area for tornadoes to be able to produce. So it's the one area I've been kind of watching it constantly is the area near Edison because this is what was with all the murders and then it turned into all that and produced a tornado earlier over here, kind of just general area. Okay, there we go. There's your other report there, near Esto. Holmes County, all lanes on SR 79 near SR 2 reported closed due to debris on roadway. Definitely a lot of scattered showers and storms starting to pop up over here in this portion of Florida. The one thing I will say when it comes to radars between Tampa and then also Melbourne, it's like these cover basically the entire central portion here. But yeah, it feels like there's still a radar hole here. Like, so that's still gonna be going on for a minute, and even that special weather statement too. Mainly looks like wind and penny-sized hail. So it's. I mean, they did mention a with one of the mesoscale discussions. I forget where if I can find it. Scattered strong storms producing marginal hail and wind should spread north. So that's basically what's going on right now with a lot of this. Daytona mostly. I was gonna say because Daytona is over here. Well, it's Daytona Beach, but Titusville. I forgot Key West is all the way down here. Well, not really. Not really forgot, but Key West is all the way down here. Kind of interesting that there's just towns and stuff down here with how small. Well, how small that area is. I still got 15 minutes on a severe thunderstorm warning up here. I'm gonna use. Wait a minute. That clear air? I think that might be clear air. Yeah, it's clear air right there. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be. Yeah, real quick. Ooh. All right, I'm back, and they did just issue a tornado warning. Oh wow, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a lot tighter rotation right there. Ow. That's gonna be for what? That's gonna be for the areas of 5 Points, Herod, Chickawaukee, Dawson, Yeomans, Oakville, Graves. So if you're in any of those areas, make sure you are going to a large part building your home. Most of your part building your home, as you're now underneath a tornado warning. Actually, it is. I guess. I mean, Chickawaukee is technically in this. Yeah, that's definitely a tight area rotation right now over 5 points over in Georgia. You can see where you have a hook on this too, kind of. So I'm guessing that's so I wonder if that was the area that I'm guessing that was the area that we talked about earlier that had a tornado on it, which is now tornado warned. Which actually, let me go through the velocities. Yeah, although that was looking at the timestamp, that was 1:55 p.m. when he sent that, so maybe not. Yeah, definitely gonna be watching this area over 5 points. This is one of the tighter areas of rotation that we have right now. Nothing on CC at the moment. But we potentially could have a tornado on the ground at any moment with this particular area rotation that we have. Tight area rotation. Hopefully I'm not muted. Okay, I'm not muted. I had to check real quick. Looks like there was a pea-sized hail was reported at an intersection of US 27 and Lake Henry Drive near Lake Placid in Florida. And this tornado warning is going to be going for 17 minutes. It doesn't look as organized for velocities as it was earlier. Definitely was definitely was really tight there. Once again, so nothing to be confirmed underground at the moment. Right now it's just mainly rotation. They haven't issued a new severe dust warning just quite yet, so it's mainly I think it's probably just gonna be this tornado warning that's gonna be going on over in Georgia, and if we do have any wind threat here, then it's gonna be probably around 50-mile-per-hour winds, if anything, at least maybe weaker than that. So we are almost at the point where we are gonna be in a little bit of radar hole, although we are still in good distance to see this right now. With this radar over in east of Ozark in Alabama, which is Tallahassee's radar. Then we'll have to switch over to I think this is Atlanta's radar right there, over in Peachtree. Right now, this is it could be the best view we have right now of this. That rotation is gonna be still just to the east of Shellman, over in Georgia. It's gonna be going for another 15 minutes, and we no longer have that severe dust warning ongoing over here, and we still have one actually going on down here actually. So they did issue a new one for a severe dust warning down here with this particular cell, which I think was warned earlier as well for that quarter-sized hail. Right now, we just have one ongoing tornado warning at the moment. Definitely some strong velocities here, but I think that's outside of the main area. How far behind is... Okay, these are basically lined up. Well, actually, we're 2 minutes behind on both reflectivity and velocities right now, but not super far behind like it was way earlier today. It's like at times radar mega works, and then there's ones that just don't. I don't know why that is, but it's probably just due to the fact that Radar Mega literally at this point has not had a update in literally a year. There's some flooding over in Ho Chi Minh City, over in Vietnam. So yeah, a bunch of photos and videos coming in from the storm that was tornado warned over in Esto and Noma earlier. Someone got a picture of the... I think... Hard to say if it's just like the mesocyclone. I think it's the mesocyclone I'm looking at there in that picture. Looking at current scans, still have a tight area rotation still, just to the now east, well, still east of Shellman at this time. There's always, I said, there's definitely a chance we could see a potentially a tornado at any point on the ground, especially with how tight those velocities are. May have another area there potentially, but I don't think that's much. Definitely got this area though. That's definitely gonna be concerning going towards Dawson. What is going on here? Okay. So I do wonder if there's some side lobe contamination ongoing within this too, because sometimes, because even around us, it looks like there's definitely some side lobe contamination in here, and then because that still would be the potential area of rotation there, just still east of Shellman. We're about a minute behind right now. This is the 2:35 p.m. scan for velocities, and then nothing on CC. But overall, we're kind of actually up to date, if anything, to be honest, compared to not. Still got 8 minutes on this tornado warning here. We'll see what they do within the next, I guess, 8 minutes. I guess we'll have to see if they extend that tornado warning or not. Don't know if they will. It looks like we may have something still there, east of Shellman and west of Graves here in Georgia, where we're looking at right now. Still looking to on Twitter see what kind of reports still we have over with the specifics on the tornado from earlier in Florida that went PDS. On my neck. So I got another 5 minutes. And after that, I guess we'll see what happens with the next, I guess, few moments or so with this particular area. And I think we definitely are starting to see some side lobe contamination and contamination in general in this area. All right, so 4 minutes. Also, this I mean, right now it's 2:41 p.m. This is still gonna be going until 5 o'clock Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Which, well, I mean, the turnout that is not super high, but would be surprised if we at least see maybe potentially a couple more tornadoes downstream. But right now, does not seem to be the case that at least right now, does not seem to be the case that is going to be happening right now at this time. Still 3 minutes on this tornado warning still, as I just took a look at that. I also do have a flash flood warning over in Tuscaloosa. Let me just kind of zoom out real quick. Let me actually, why not just turn on every single, I wouldn't expect anything tropical to be going on, so I don't know why I turn those on. Winter though, I mean, you still have winter alerts in May and whatnot, which I think there's only at least a few. Well, there's one winter weather, which is up in Alaska. Honestly, I wouldn't expect too many winter weather alerts in the first place. Non-precip. I mean, there could be quite a few of those actually. Yeah, you got wind advisory over in South Dakota. High wind watch over here in Montana, and then you got wind advisory there, and also there in Nevada, Oregon. You got heat advisory over here in California, and then this portion of SoCal, which we had wildfires earlier this year, over here in, where is it at? Over here, or is it? Yeah, over here. Where is? I know it was up here. Oh, yeah, there's Pasadena right there. So, yeah, right here is where it was. Like, trying to pinpoint where it was, but it was right here. No, there's a couple of fires up here that occurred there, too. But other than that, at least for the moment, let me turn on some of these. I know there's going to be a bunch of these flood warnings. Even up here with flood watches and stuff. A lot of rain over the past couple of days in some of these areas. And then there's also fire weather watches up here in such places as South Dakota, Nebraska, Minnesota, even in Montana too. All right, they did just issue a special weather statement. It looks like on this, and it could be for up to 50-mile-per-hour winds and half-inch hail. Half-inch hail. I don't know why I repeat myself. I think it was just weird of how I was saying when I first said it with that. And there is the expiration of that tornado warning. We no longer have a tornado warning ongoing, it looks like now. Just gotta take a quick look at some of these velocities. Although it's gotta look like an absolute mess in this area for anything. Other than that, right now, with looking at everywhere over here within this tornado watch, this looks like mostly showers and storms in this area. Unless something does end up trying to mature again down the line, which right now does not seem to be the case for a lot of these showers and storms, I don't think we're going to see too much of a tornado threat at this point for maybe the rest of this afternoon, maybe into this evening. But I could be wrong, because sometimes through evening hours, sometimes that'll increase the tornado threat. There's quite a few storms, however, down here. This one's still warned for $half size hail. But what is going on with that? It looks like it has a hook on it, but yeah, it kind of looks like it has a hook on it. Although we're kind of far from, well, we're in between radars, but also kind of in a radar hole with both of these, which is kind of annoying because I want to take a quick, I want to look at this more, I want to look at this one in particular more closely, but reflectivity is like the only thing that kind of has a more of a definition. Although I'm really not expecting too much of a tornado. What, doesn't the 2% go down all the way down here, or is that all the way up here? Now, there's a 2% up here in the same area. So basically, today and tomorrow, it's basically the same areas for that tornado threat, and then the marginal like moves towards the east as is moving off to the east. Eventually, just been a slow moving system, but we have a special marine warning up here for wind. But other than that, I'm gonna end my stream for today. If anything does end up kind of uptrending a bit more and whatnot, gonna be monitoring, of course. But I think for the most part, it shouldn't be too much of a obviously high threat day for severe weather, other than maybe a couple of storms that may have a wind or hail threat with them. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys in the next stream, which the next stream will probably be sometime next week, Thursday, because that is the next period of severe weather where something, it could potentially be significant, but there is one thing with capping that could be a concern for next week, with Thursday, in terms of at least significant severe weather. Because if you have a cap in place, then that kind of inhibits storms from kind of firing off through today. I've seen it before with multiple times, especially with a couple weeks. Actually, I don't know how many months ago it was, or how many weeks back, where Oklahoma had an enhanced risk, but there was a cap in place and it never broke, so storms never fired off. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you all in the next one.